Good
They were
evening.
shaking their head, yes.
Good evening. I will call the Finance Committee meeting to order at 7:12 PM, February 18th, 2021. We have councilors participating in the chamber as well as remotely. I will begin by asking a roll call to confirm attendance. Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas is present.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera is present.
Councilor Oram.
Counselor Oram is present.
Councilor Pearlman.
Mr. Perlman is present.
Great, thank you. We have 5 items on the agenda this evening. We have 4 transfer requests and 1 proposed amendment to Chapter 125 Personnel of the City Code. I will begin with order number 21-100-8183, transfer in the amount of $1,504,785.40 from the undesignated fund, free cash, to the OPEB trust account pursuant to the financial policy of the city. And I will begin by reading the letter supplied by the mayor. Honorable President Ossing and councilors, please find enclosed for your review a transfer request in the amount of $1,504,785.40 from our undesignated fund to the OPEB trust account. This transfer is in accordance with the financial policies which require annual transfers to ensure that we continue investing in our future fiscal stability. Our collaborative efforts have enabled us to grow our stabilization fund and continue paying down our pension liability and take steps to lower our OPEB liability. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, members, thank you very much for the opportunity to come down, and this is obviously good news for the city. It's taking, a portion of our free cash that we get every year, based on the policy that was submitted by my office and approved by the council. We put money into that OPEB trust fund every year to try to knock that liability out. It's something that we really were way ahead of the game. Most communities haven't even started thinking about funding it. There are some that have done a pretty good job, but we have a huge liability out there of over $100 million, and this is just putting something aside every year so we can try to eat away at that and eventually get on top of it. But here is 10% of the free cash, totaling, we're gonna have over $12 million in that fund after this is transferred, and again, I hope you support the approval.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will open it to any questions from the finance committee. Seeing none, any other questions from any other councilors? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve.
Motion has been approved and seconded to approve order number 21-100-8183, transfer in the amount of $1,504,785.40 from undesignated fund to the OPEB trust pursuant of financial policy of the city. I will call the roll. Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Counselor Perlman votes yes.
And Councilor Irish votes yes. It carries 5-0. Thank you. And the next item is order number 21-100-8184, transfer in the amount of $1,504,785.40 from undesignated fund free cash to undesignated stabilization pursuant to financial policy of the city. I will read the letter from the mayor. Honorable President Ossing and councilors, enclosed for your approval is a transfer request in the amount of $1,504,785.40 from the undesignated fund into the city's undesignated stabilization account to ensure the city's fiscal stability. This transfer will come from our free cash account as we continue utilizing these funds available in free cash to improve our financial stability. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, this is just an annual transfer based on a policy that was sent down to the council and approved. It's adding 10% of our free cash into our stabilization fund. When many communities in the state are depleting their stabilization fund, here we're adding about 10%. We'll have over $15 million in that stabilization fund. And because we've been fortunate with our revenues and very conservative on our budgeting, we haven't had to touch those monies. So with that, I ask for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will open it up to the Finance Committee. Any questions?
I have a quick question.
Councilor Tenera.
What's the total we need to satisfy the state on that?
There's really not a total, it's what the community is comfortable with. The bonding council likes to see, 15% free, in cash, in some form of cash, and we're well in excess of that. But for the stabilization account itself, I mean, we've always tried to say the 10% number, 8 to 10% number is a good number, but, it's there for the rainy day. Fortunately, we haven't had to use it as it's been pouring outside. So, but it's there if we do need it. We have a policy to fill this, and there is no actual number a goal that we're setting.
Mr. Chair.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To follow up, Councilor Tenera, great question, right? So one of my 5 principles for finance is keep your stabilization between 7 and 11%. So with $185 million and about $16 million with this, puts us just a little over 9%. So we're well, again, these are Mike's guidelines. They're not hard and fast written down anywhere, but it puts us, as the mayor says, in good standings with the bonding companies when they come and look at the city to make sure we have adequate reserves should we need them. So this is right in line with where we want to be, and I would encourage Finance Committee support of the transfer. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. Any other questions? Seeing none?
Councilor Perlman?
Oh, yes, Councilor Perlman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I appreciate all of the hard work that went into this, and I am in support of it. I was just curious, I know we've been doing some other trainings for new counselors. Would there be an opportunity to get a training to kind of learn a little bit more about both the OPEB trust and this undesignated stabilization and our plan for the future? Just a question either to the mayor, through you, Mr. Chair, or to Councilor Ossing.
If President Austin would like to answer that, please.
As I've said in the past, the first 2 training sessions were free. I'll probably start charging after that. No, we can look at that. I mean, if that's what the council want, I'm happy to do that. If you want to hear me talk about it, I'm happy to relay that information to the councilors. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. And there is sometimes little tutorials as well on the YouTube from the DLS. Sometimes you can kind of catch some of those abbreviated ones, but that's a start as well to look at, Council. Any further questions? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I will second that. Motion has been approved and seconded to approve order number 21-100-8184, transfer in the amount of $1,504,785.40 from undesignated fund to undesignated stabilization pursuant to the financial policies of the city. I will call the roll. Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
And Councilor Irish votes yes. It carries 5-0. Thank you. Next item is order number 21-100-8195A. I'm sorry, 100-8186, transfer in the amount of $39,447 from various departments for FY '21, which moves funds from and to accounts noted on the spreadsheet included with the request. And I'll read the letter supplied by the mayor. Honorable President Ossing and councilors, enclosed for your approval are mid-year transfer requests from several city departments. As always, department heads who have requested transfers will be in attendance at future Finance Committee meetings to discuss these requests with you in greater detail. Sincerely, Arthur G. Vigent, the mayor. Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
So, again, these are just annual transfers. Halfway through the year, we take a look at all the budgets, analyze them, make sure that there's money's in the accounts to make it through the balance of the year. These were the ones that needed to come back to the council because of your authority. You guys given us the opportunity to transfer within the departments themselves. So these were the ones to clean some things up. Some of it was because of prior approvals that you had done for different positions, that we were waiting until the mid-year to take care of. And again, the auditor, Diane Smith is on the line, and our finance director, Patrick Jones, is also joining us tonight. So if there's any further questions, we can defer to them.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I'll open it to the Finance Committee for any questions. Just a note, as well as last year for FY '20, mid-year request was $839,902. So this is low, but I will open it up to the Finance team for any questions.
Mr. Chairman?
Councilor Oram.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I think it was clear on the spreadsheet, and we made these decisions that now need to be funded.
Yes.
It's not an overwhelming amount, so I will be in favor of this.
Thank you, Councilor Oram. And you are correct, these are things that we had already agreed on for the increase of these salaries. Thank you, Councilor. Any other questions? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I will second that. Motion has been made and seconded to approve order number 21-100-8186, transfer in the amount of $39,447 from various departments for FY '21, which moves funds from and to accounts noted in the spreadsheet included with the request. I will call the roll. Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
And Councilor Irish votes yes. It carries 5-0. Next item is order number 21-100-8195A, a proposed amendment to Chapter 125 Personnel of the City Code to add a stipend for members of the Conservation Commission, $150 Conservation Commission meetings that they are attended. I will read the letter submitted by the mayor. Honorable President Ossing and councilors, I'm submitting for your approval the acceptance of amending Chapter 125-6 to grant Conservation Commission members a $150 stipend per commission meeting attended effective April 1st, 2021. I have attached a draft order from the City Solicitor of Groesfield for review. If approved, this will compensate our Conservation Commission members for their time and effort. During this pandemic, I've spent time listening to all active boards and commissions and noted the dedication of our Conservation Commission members regarding actively reviewing sites, discussing the history, and ultimately preserving the city's natural resources. Enclosed is a transfer for $3,150 from summer employment to Conservation Commission members' line items to cover the stipends through June 30th, 2021. Sincerely, Arthur G. Vigent, the mayor. Do you have any follows-ups on that, Mr. Mayor?
To be honest with you, Mr. Chairman, the letter is kind of self-explanatory. We decided as a group to start giving stipends to the Planning Board and Zoning Board. I was remiss in not sending this down at the same time. And we've talked about it over the last couple of years on different boards, and we only have a few boards that actually receive stipends, and we want to make sure that we tread very carefully into this area of paying different board members. But if you've had the opportunity with all the virtual meetings of being on the Conservation Commission meetings, you're talking about some dedicated people. Every project that comes up, they all visit the projects to take a look. And I would say the majority of the members know where every shovelful of dirt is in this entire city, and what type of dirt it is. And to listen to them, it's pretty interesting. So I would like to move this forward. I don't believe it's been advertised yet, but I'm not positive on that.
It has
So
not.
it would have to be advertised to take effect. And the transfer, I guess my feeling is, depending on the comfort level of the council, if it's intended to go through as requested on April 1st, we would need the transfer. If not, and you'd like to see it go through with the new budget on July 1st, then we would not need the transfer. So I'll leave that to your prerogative, but I can tell you, this is a dedicated board that does a lot for the city, so thank you.
No, I agree, Mr. Mayor. It's an incredible amount of work they've been undertaking for many, many years. I will open it up to the Finance Committee for any questions.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Council Oram?
there was one sentence you didn't read in that letter. It just said this commission has an extensive knowledge of Marlborough that often goes unnoticed.
Thank you.
And we appreciate all their efforts, and the mayor just more or less said that.
Yep,
And I
thank
agree
you.
with the mayor. I don't know if they know every shovel full of dirt in the town, but I know they know every shovel full of dirt wherever there's water or wetlands. So it's appreciated what they do. I know one of our previous council presidents has given a lot of his time to this commission, and when you read their minutes and see what they do, they're a very busy commission. So I support this wholeheartedly, and I'll let someone else speak if they so wish. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Thank you. You are correct. Council Perlman?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to echo Councilor Oram. I think it's a board that does a lot of work. The Conservation Commission, I've been to some of their meetings, and I know that they have such a vast knowledge base that is very important for the work that we do in this city and impacts us in the council and all of the other boards as well. I did have a couple questions. The first being that I saw for, if we were doing the April transfer, that the money was going to be coming directly from money allocated for the summer internship program that I know did not happen this year due to COVID.
Yes.
And so I was curious if where the money would be coming from in the future. And then my other question was regarding how many members are currently on the board and how many is the maximum that can be on the board, and are there vacancies that also need to be filled?
There are 7 members, and I believe they meet twice a month. That's the third Thursday, the first and second Thursday of the month. So that's 2 that they meet, and there's 7 members. And I'm trying to think if there is one vacant? I'm not sure, Mr. Mayor. No, I think that is full.
Sorry, I didn't hear the
Sorry,
last
Mr. Chairman,
piece.
the commission is currently fully, there are
It's full.
7 members of the commission.
And it is full.
Yes.
Okay, great. So that answers the question regarding the members. I know some of the other boards we've been able to continue filling, so I just wanted to make sure that this board has also been filled. And the other question was regarding, the transfer coming from summer employment, and what would be the intended, I guess, line item for that in the future, or would that just be looped into the new budget and allocated?
I guess that might
I'm
be.
sorry, I didn't understand the
In
question.
the future, Mr. Mayor, where would those funds be coming from if it was not coming from the summer employment? Is that the question, Councilor Perlman?
Correct, since the summer employment was money that would have been used in a typical year but wasn't given COVID-19.
That's correct. I mean, we have all that leftover money from last summer, not for the summer coming up. We are really hopeful that we can do something this year, but obviously, there's plenty of funds there, and that's why we're doing the transfer from that line item.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilor,
Councilor Perlman brings out some very valid points, and I'm a true believer that if a board is serving or their agent is serving the community in a certain capacity, such as if I owned a restaurant, I have to pay a fee for that board to inspect my restaurant.
Yep.
No different for conservation. So I truly believe if we are going to be funding around, it seems around 25,000 a year, give or take, that it should be considered when they look at fees. And they're working just as hard as the agent. So again, I think that's something that down the road we can look at, but I'm a true believer in user fees for any board that's serving specific requests from our general public. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further questions from any other councilors? Oh, Council Landry.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to just make a comment. I certainly will support this when it comes before the full council. I would like it to be effective April 1st. That's probably, 6 meetings before the end of the year. I won't do it tonight, but sometime in the future, I'd like to make an amendment that the chairman of the Conservation Commission would maybe get an additional stipend of like $50 a month or something like that. Because going along with that, I would, figuring out tonight, in 2023, I'm probably hope to put an order through that would give the president of the city council a stipend, that maybe the chairman of finance would get a stipend, and maybe urban. Now, that doesn't affect anybody right now, and I deliberately said FY '23. I think we do have to look. I mean, you have looked at some of the past boards in the past, and I think we do have to, look at some of these boards and commissions and so forth like that. And, somehow I've always felt when you give a stipend, it's recognizing them for their hard work and the hours they put in. And what the commission did, it's amazing what they've done, just say on that project down on East Main Street there. But somewhere along the city council. So that would be 2 fiscal years from now. It'd give us a chance to get everything in order and then also budget for it. But this particular one, I'll hold back on the extra stipend for the president of this year, but I certainly will support this when it comes forward at the next city council meeting. And I would like it to take effect April 1st. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman.
Councilor.
Counselor, can we make that retroactive about 20 years?
No. No.
Councilor Navin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just to build on what the mayor just said there, thankfully, this is not retroactive because, as it was noted, former council president Clancy has served for over 50 years on the Conservation Commission, and that would be a pretty big check that we owe him. So, but just to kind of reiterate what everyone said already, this is incredibly important work. The Conservation Commission is working to protect the natural resources of the city and the character of a lot of the lands, especially that border wetlands. I don't think people realize whether it's a large project or whether it's, a new home that's being built or renovated, in areas, such as in Ward 6, by Fort Meadow. Every time you kind of log on to one of those meetings, they're sitting there spending hours talking about what the impact is to the shoreline and what the buffers need to be. A lot of work goes into this stuff, and a lot of times people don't realize when they see a construction project happening that, people have overseen that to make sure that our natural resources are protected. So I think this is a smart thing that we should be doing, and, I will be supporting it when it comes before the council.
Thank you, Councilor. And I agree with you. They do a lot of that heavy lifting on that committee. Any other further?
One other comment,
Oh,
Mr.
thank
Chairman.
Councilor.
I just make one more comment. Former president of the council and member of the commission, Ed Clancy, he knows where every puddle is in Marlborough.
Thank you, Councilor Landers. Any further questions? I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, a motion to approve the council order as presented, starting April 1st, 2021.
Thank you, Counselor Orm. I will second that. Motion has been made and seconded to approve order number 21-100-8195A, proposed amendment to Chapter 125 Personnel of the City Code to add a stipend for members of Conservation Commission for $150 per meeting attended. I will call the roll. Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Orem.
Councilor Orem votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
And Counselor Irish votes yes. It carries 5-0. Thank you, councilors. The next item
Counselor Irish, can I interrupt?
is order number 21-100-81.
Sorry, point of order. This has already been advertised, correct? It has not. Okay. Can we do a suspension of the rules to have this advertised?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
still,
just throwing it out there.
yeah, that would be part of the motion when we report it out.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Sorry about that. I didn't
No.
see you.
Yeah, no, it's
Thank you,
okay.
Councilor Dukes. Okay, the next item is order number 21-100-8195B, transfer in the amount of $3,150 to fund Conservation Commission members, the $150 per meeting stipend through June 30th, 2021. I don't know if there've been any questions for any of the councils on this, but I will open that up for any questions. Councilor Dukes.
Can we break down the math on how we got to 3150? My math is not.
What's that?
Can we break down how we got to 3150?
Got
I
to
come up with a-
150?
Well, we want to transfer 3150 because we want to pay each committee member $150, correct?
Correct, to,
There's 7 members.
It's, to be honest with you, council, it's pretty much an estimate, because if you miss a meeting, you don't get paid.
Okay,
And they have special meetings, they cancel meetings.
okay,
All of those boards are pretty, the planning board, the zoning board, that's why I put it in there per meeting.
Right.
It's gonna be tough to budget it, we're gonna have an estimate for budgeting purposes, and that's what this is here.
okay.
thank
The
you.
only reason why I'm asking, and again, Mr. Finance Guy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, if it's 2 meetings per month and there's 7 people,
Yes,
that's 6 times 7 is 42 times 150, I'm at 6,300, correct? Okay, so
Wow,
that's,
He's good. He's good.
so, I don't want to step on your toes, Mr. President, but I'm just, so I guess my question is, it's exactly half. So I didn't know if I was missing something or if they didn't meet. So I just want to know. So it's only an estimate, so it's not, so you may be able to come back to us to request more money if all 7 members for the 2 months, correct?
And
That's
keep in
correct.
mind,
That's
that we do
correct,
have, the year-end transfer, that if there's
No,
a shortfall, so.
I just want to see what
Yep.
the game plan is, because when my numbers don't add up,
Yep.
I
I
guess I'm just trying to
appreciate that.
save
Thank
you a trip to come down and ask
Yep.
for more money with,
No.
when we could do the math now, and it's whatever you guys want to do. I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. It's been a long day.
No,
So, having said that.
Great question.
no, I was doing the same thing, because there's 7 members at $150 apiece. No, you're right,
Right.
Councilor Dukes.
So whatever you guys want to do, I'm fine with. I just want to make sure that I'm not crazy. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Dukes.
So if
Mr.
there's no,
Chairman,
if there's no discussion, I mean, I'll approve it.
Councilor Orem.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, especially since we have another meeting coming up, Urban Affairs, I'm pretty satisfied with the discussion, and I'm going to motion to approve.
Okay, I will second that motion. Thank you, Councilor Orem. Motion has been made and seconded to approve order number 21-100-8195B, a transfer in the amount of $3,150 to fund Conservation Commission members for $150 per meeting stipend through June 30th, 2021. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Tanera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
And Counselor Irish votes yes. It carries 5-0.
Mr. Chairman, motion to adjourn.
I will second it. Motion has been made to adjourn. I will call the roll. Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Tanera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
And Counselor Irish votes yes, and Finance Committee is adjourned at 7:43 PM. Thank you, team.